Hi, welcome. This webinar is specifically for our location coordinators, and it will give you some great ideas about how to start planning your National Wreaths Across America Day ceremony and wreath placements. Before we get started, though, my name is Rochelle Bergeson, and I'm your regional liaison and best point of contact for Wreaths Across America. Anytime you have questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help. In addition to my support, our Solution-Oriented Wreath Advisory Team, otherwise known as SWAT, has several volunteers from all over the country who have been involved with Wreaths Across America for several years, and they're a great resource to help each of you on your journey as a location coordinator. Our SWAT team can be reached on the private Facebook group for location coordinators. As the location coordinator, you can choose how large or small your ceremony will be. Every location has different needs, and as you begin planning your ceremony, you will want to take into account your local community and what they might connect with the most. You will want to use the script that we provide, but feel free to customize the script to fit your own needs. Just be sure to keep your ceremony non-political. We have a private Facebook group that's just for location coordinators. If you haven't joined it already, I highly recommend that you do. It's a great place to connect with other volunteers like yourself and get ideas for the layout of your program. Depending upon the size of your cemetery, you may want to create a planning team to help you with the ceremony and wreath placements. This is a nice way to involve others from your community. Feel free to delegate tasks so you don't get overwhelmed. As you begin planning your ceremony, these are some ideas and tips to help everything run smoothly. Take into consideration your ceremony venue and set it up so that everyone in attendance can see and hear clearly. Reach out to locals in your community to have someone sing, pass out programs, block off parking, and help with the distribution of wreaths. Inside the printed program, you can include participants, donor thank yous, the wreath cleanup date, and the save the date for next year's program. You could also include a link to your location Facebook page for future communication regarding wreath cleanup, depending upon weather, etc. Making arrangements for parking varies from location to location. Some larger locations may need to consider busing people in. If that's the case for you, your local school system may be able to help provide school buses. Reach out to a local florist, funeral home, or hardware store to get wreath stands donated for your ceremonial wreaths. Arrange to have a retired or active duty veteran from each branch of the military present their corresponding ceremonial wreath. If you choose to have color guards, some good resources to reach out to are your local Boy Scouts, Sea Cadets, Civil Air Patrol units, or your local veteran organizations like the VFW or American Legion. If you want to have a bugler at your ceremony, Bugles Across America is a great resource. You can find them at buglesacrossamerica.org. It's always a good idea to have a solid plan in place for distributing wreaths. Beforehand, it's helpful to walk the cemetery and mark where the veteran graves are located. Some location coordinators use small surveyor flags or American flags, which seems to work well. Staging your wreaths for distribution can be helpful. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide how to disperse the wreaths for placement, but it's important to control the distribution so you don't have people taking whole boxes. You want everyone to have a chance to be able to place a wreath on a veteran's grave. We encourage you to invite those with grave-specific wreaths or loved ones buried there to come forward first to get their wreath. This is especially important if you have more people than wreaths. Just remember, the wreath is what brings us together, but ultimately we are doing this to honor and remember our veterans. If you don't get enough wreaths sponsored to place on each of your veterans' graves, encourage your ceremony participants to continue walking the cemetery and say each veteran's name aloud. This is a great way to teach the real mission of Wreaths Across America. Getting your local news or radio stations involved is an excellent way to spread the word in your local community about your wreath laying ceremony, as well as about your wreath cleanup. If you need help with this, we have a PR team available to assist. Feel free to email Sean Sullivan at ssullivan@wreathsacrossamerica.org, and he'll help you connect with the right news and radio people in your community. If you haven't already taken a peek at it, I highly recommend you check out the Wreaths Across America YouTube channel. That's where you will find a wide variety of inspirational videos that you can share to get your local community excited about participating in the wreath laying ceremony. Other location coordinators also upload their own ceremony videos to the Wreaths Across America YouTube channel, so it's a nice place to get ideas for your ceremony. Social media can be a great tool for sharing the mission of Wreaths Across America's Remember, Honor, and Teach. We recommend contacting Samantha Gatcomb, our very own Facebook genius. She'll help you create a Facebook page for your location so that it's easy for your supporters to search for and find. She can be contacted best through email at sgatcomb@wreathsacrossamerica.org. Just remember, there are a few do's and don'ts for social media. Do share stories about your local heroes being honored or celebrated, whether it's to thank them for their service or wish them a happy birthday. Don't share stories that are political or religious. Even when it's good news, it sometimes can create an opportunity for people to share disagreements, which takes away from our mission at Wreaths Across America. Just remember, we're here to remember our fallen veterans, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. Your social media posts should be in line with these three things. Some examples of content that you can share on social media are graphics that we've included in the newsletters or in the private Facebook group, pictures of your group or location, working hard to share the mission of Wreaths Across America with your local community, or news articles and videos about Wreaths Across America. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to visit the Wreaths Across America channel on YouTube to see some of our new videos that you could share to help inspire your supporters. Excuse me. When you invite supporters to sponsor a veterans wreath, you should always share the direct link to your location group page, that supports your location. This is so that the group can get credit for their efforts and so that your location can receive the wreaths. You could also hold a Facebook fundraiser. When it's completed, take a photo of the results and email it to me so I can make sure your group and location get credit for that fundraiser. When you clean up your wreaths, it is important to stay in close contact with the cemetery so that you can follow their guidelines and respect their wishes. The cleanup date should be set by the location coordinator, but in conjunction with the cemetery staff. Please note, we request that wreaths be cleaned up before they turn brown, which can vary from weeks to months depending upon your climate. Encourage your volunteers to wear gloves, bring poles or broomsticks to remove the wreaths. It's a lot easier to carry multiple wreaths that way. Also, think about what you're going to do with the wreaths after they're picked up. Will your cemetery staff dispose of them for you? If so, come up with a pre-assigned spot to leave the wreaths. If not, consider donating the wreaths to a goat or llama farm, a fish hatchery, or removing the greens and bows, then recycling the metal frames. You could also arrange for dumpsters to be delivered. If you're going to arrange for dumpsters, it's a good thing to check with your local landfill to make sure that they can take those wreaths. It's always important to communicate with me. It's a big part of making certain that the logistics for your location go smoothly. Help us help you by responding quickly to emails and phone calls. If you ever have any questions or need help brainstorming ideas, I am your regional liaison and best point of contact. I'm always happy to help and can be reached over the phone or through email. If I'm busy when you reach me, I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Usually it's less than 24 hours, but occasionally it might be more than that. I do oversee a large area and I do my very best to keep organized while still spending the time to help each volunteer with their planning and logistics. I promise that I will give you the same time and attention that I do for all other volunteers, and I always will get back to you as quickly as I can. During our busy season, it is really helpful if you could bulk all of your questions into one email or call, and you can allow me a chance to get back to you before reaching out again. All of your account information is located in your Wreaths Across America dashboard. If you haven't had a chance to log in and look at it yet, I recommend that you do. Information for logging into your account is in the registration email I sent you when you signed up to participate this year. If you've lost track of that email, let me know and I'd be happy to resend it to you. Or if you need help logging into your account or learning how to navigate your dashboard, just let me know. The information we need for your location includes contact information for you and your co-location coordinator. Plus, we need the contact information for at least one person at the cemetery so we can confirm that they are willing to let Wreaths Across America hold the event at their location. Some cemeteries are quite old and small and may not have someone physically there. In that case, we would need the contact for whoever manages the cemetery, whether at the county level or city level. We also need delivery addresses, your veteran grave count, to know if you're accepting grave-specific requests, what time you're starting your ceremony, and any other special instructions you may have. If I haven't called already to run through these things over the phone, I will. It's important that we take the time to talk over the phone to make sure we're on the same page and to get everything squared away with you. When I call, I will always appreciate your time and will work through my questions as quickly as possible. If you have any questions, this is also a great time to address those. Throughout the year, I will email you with any important information you should know about. It's important that you don't miss these emails, so please take a moment to add me to your email contacts. If you notice any of my emails automatically filtered in your spam folder, double check that I'm added to your email contacts and then move the email to your inbox. This should teach your email server that my emails belong in your inbox. If you ever suspect that you're not getting emails from me, please let me know so that I can help you troubleshoot the issue. I do not want you to miss anything important. And we do send out quite a few emails throughout the year. Sometimes it's just to ask a quick question. I know you guys are all volunteers and everybody is busy, but please try to read through those emails. Sometimes there might be some important information that we're trying to get out to everybody. And if you just look at it and say, oh, there's another email from Rochelle and just pass through it, you might miss out on something. So for the addresses, there are 3 different types of addresses that we require. The first is your home mailing address. That's where we will send the flags that you'll attach to your ceremonial wreaths. We generally mail the flags in November. So if you haven't received yours by December 1st, go ahead and give me a call or send me an email and let me know, and I'll have them resent to you. This address is also where we will send any certificates or other small packages. The second is your cemetery address. Most ceremonies will occur at the actual cemetery, so this address will be for both your ceremony and the actual cemetery. If your ceremony is being held elsewhere, please let me know so that I can help you customize your site to highlight the different ceremony address. The third is your wreath receiving address. The wreaths will be delivered either by an 18-wheeler or by FedEx UPS. The Wreaths Across America shipping team determines how your wreaths are delivered to you, so they need both an 18-wheeler address and a UPS FedEx address listed so that they can use whichever address makes the most sense logistically. It's really important that the addresses for the 18-wheeler is accessible to a large truck to get in and turn around, and that the UPS FedEx address is accessible after hours if their deliveries are running late. If you are the location coordinator for multiple locations and you'd like to deliver all of your wreaths to one location and then hand deliver to each individual cemetery, that's totally fine. We just want to make sure that your receiving addresses for each location match up with where you'd actually like your wreaths delivered. Once we know your wreaths have shipped, we will notify and let you know how they will be arriving. If they are shipped FedEx or UPS, we will provide you with a tracking number. If they are shipped on an 18-wheeler truck, your volunteer truck driver will contact you ahead of time to make arrangements for delivery. Notice from them can vary between a couple hours and a few days, so it's important to keep your phone with you during the week, excuse me, during the week prior to Wreath Day so that you don't miss that call. Wreath Week is very exciting and we want you to be prepared and ready to accept your wreath delivery. Be sure to set up a calling tree so that you can have volunteers lined up and be ready to unload the truck when it arrives. We determine the maximum number of wreaths that your location will receive based on your veteran grave count. The number of wreaths sent to you will be based on how many wreaths you have sponsored for your location up to your total veteran grave count. Any sponsored wreaths above and beyond your veteran grave count will automatically be carried over to next year. If you need more or less wreaths than the veteran grave count at your location, we're happy to accommodate it, and we'll make special arrangements for you. Just let me know what's needed and I'll make sure it's set up correctly for you. We do have a lot of location coordinators that find it helpful to make a map of their cemetery so that they can easily locate where their veteran graves are located. If your cemetery doesn't have a good record of the veterans there, you may want to walk the cemetery with some volunteers and help and map it out yourself. Your sponsorship goal is linked to the Wreath-O-Meter that shows on your location page. The purpose of the sponsorship goal is so that your local community knows how close you are to being fully covered or meeting your goal for your location. Remember, your sponsorship goal is different than your veteran grave count. It does not determine how many wreaths are shipped to your location for placement on Wreath Day. Only the veteran grave count is what determines that number. If your location holds a ceremony but is not able to place wreaths, please let me know that information as soon as possible. Now we're going to talk about the direct links. Groups and locations have different purposes, so they have different websites. The groups are responsible for networking within your local community to gather support for the event through wreath sponsorships. So group pages are used primarily for placing orders. Locations are the place for accepting the sponsored wreaths, as well as hosting the wreath laying ceremony with the location coordinator taking the lead to plan it. That's you. Location pages are used primarily for sharing information about the event, but donors can also sponsor wreaths on the location page. The direct link to each page is simply www.wreathsacrossamerica.org/the location or group ID. When you're directing donors to sponsor wreaths for a location, first determine if there's a sponsorship group that you want to support. This could be your group or another group. Then share the custom link for that group website. Donors will then click on the red button that says sponsor wreaths and follow the prompts to place their order. They will be able to select any location for their wreaths to be delivered to, but the default is the main location that the group supports. It is important to remember that a group will only get credit for orders placed directly through their group website. If you would like to support a group, please make sure you always send donors to the direct link for the group page instead of the direct link for the location page. If you don't have any supporting groups for your location, it would be a good idea to create one yourself. Having a sponsorship group support your location can be a huge benefit. It's a great way to maximize the number of veterans that you can honor and remember with a wreath, or it can be a wonderful opportunity to fundraise and support your community in other ways. We'll get into more detail about the group plans in just a bit, so hang on tight for more information about those options. Once you decide to create a sponsorship group, please let me know and I'll help you get it set up. If a donor sponsors their wreaths through the direct link for your location website, that's okay, but they won't have the option to support a group, so there wouldn't be any group receiving credit for their order. The donor would need to contact me directly to correct their order if they intended it to support a group. Online orders generally take 24 to 48 hours to fully process and show up on your wreath count report in your dashboard. You might sometimes ask, what if a donor doesn't want to sponsor their wreaths online? Not a problem at all. They can donate paying cash or check. If you receive any cash donations, be sure to convert those into a check or money order made out to Wreaths Across America before you mail them. Please do not mail in cash. For individual donations, attach a sponsorship order form to their check. If you're mailing in multiple checks in the same envelope, instead of using a sponsorship order form for each check, you can use a tally sheet for the batch of checks. If the donor would like to remain anonymous, please indicate that on the form. It is very important that you make sure that the group ID and the location ID are listed on the forms so that we know which group should receive credit for the order and which location the wreaths should be delivered to. The mailing address for cash and check orders is listed on the sponsorship order form in the top right corner. Before you seal the envelope, make a copy of everything inside. Once the orders are processed, they will show up on your wreath count report in your dashboard. This is where you can cross-reference your records with ours to make sure all of the orders were received and entered correctly. If you notice any discrepancies, email me a copy of what you mailed in and let me know the issue so that I can reach out to our finance team to get it corrected. When you put the envelope in the mail, we recommend using certified or priority mail so that you can track the delivery. Keep in mind, it can take a few weeks for cash and check orders to fully process and show up on your wreath count report in your dashboard. So don't worry if the orders aren't listed right away. This is especially true during busy season, which is generally October through January. And as I said earlier, online orders will show up on your wreath count report within 24 to 48 hours. Another tip I like to tell people is when they're sending in a batch of checks, in the memo line of each check, it's a good idea to go ahead and write the group and location ID on that memo line. That way, if a check should fall on the floor, get separated from your tally sheet, finance can look at that check, look at the memo line and say, oh yeah, this is for such and such group, instead of doing a hunt and peck game, trying to find where that check goes. So I always just think it's a good idea to go ahead and input your group and location ID in the memo line as well. So think of your location as a funnel, and the more sponsorship groups that you have feeding into your funnel, the broader your reach and the more likely you are to fully cover your cemetery. And that's the ultimate goal here, to honor and remember every veteran. As you reach out to your community and talk with people about what you're doing and why, that's a great opportunity to invite them to sign up as a sponsorship group. Anyone can get involved. Individuals, families, friends, organizations, and businesses can all become sponsorship groups. If there's a large business that would like to become a corporate sponsor, let me know and I'll connect them with our corporate team. There are benefits to signing up as a sponsorship group. When you sign up as a sponsorship group, you will select a group plan. Each group plan will benefit your location and local community in one way or another. A 3-for-2 group receives 1 free wreath for every 2 paid wreath sponsorships. This is a great way to maximize the number of veterans at your location that receive a wreath. A $5 payback group receives $5 back for every $15 paid wreath sponsorship. This is a nice fundraising opportunity for your group, and it allows you to sponsor veterans wreaths while also giving back to your local community or furthering your own programs. A no-plan groups helps cover the costs of Wreaths Across America overhead. This is a good way to support the behind-scene works at headquarters. The more people you get involved in the mission of Wreaths Across America, the bigger impact you will make within your local community. It's important that you develop strong working relationships with each of your sponsorship group leaders. As you start the event planning process, I would encourage you to delegate tasks and find opportunities to involve your sponsorship groups in the event. Keep in mind, you will need help unloading the wreaths off the truck, conducting your ceremony, passing out wreaths to anyone who attends your event and wishes to lay wreaths, cleaning up after the event, and retiring the wreaths on the date determined by your cemetery staff. The more helping hands you have, the lighter your load will be. If you're looking for supplies to help you spread the word about Wreaths Across America or to share with your supporters, take a look at the supplies section in your account dashboard. This is where you can purchase any of the merchandise that's available in the online shop on our main website, but also where you can find items with special discounts for our volunteers, some which are at cost, others or with a bulk pricing discount. If you have any questions about any of the merchandise or pricing, feel free to reach out to the customer service team or myself. In addition to the wreath laying ceremony in December, Wreaths Across America also offers several other opportunities to honor and remember our nation's heroes all year round. One of these is the In Lieu of Flowers program, which is specifically for veterans who have recently passed. This is a special way to memorialize the life and service of our veterans. Instead of encourage loved ones to send flowers to family of the veteran who has recently passed, we will create a custom page for the veteran and help you customize it with their photo and biography, and loved ones can sponsor a veteran wreath in their honor. This is also where loved ones can upload a photo of the veteran, write a personal message to be displayed on the Remember wall. There will be a direct link to their In Lieu of Flowers page that you can share with your community to help further their legacy through sponsored veterans wreaths. If this is something you are interested in, let me know and I'll help you get it set up. You'll also find some helpful volunteer resources on our new Wreaths Across America website. The new site has not yet been released, but it will be soon. But you can still find information on www.wreathsacrossamerica.org and click on Get Involved to find everything that you will need. We have most documents already templated to help you make your job easier. However, if you're planning to customize any materials, we will need to approve them before you do any printing or distribution. Go ahead and email me the draft of your custom document and I'll run it by our communications director for approval. To provide you with help all year round, we have the country split into regions with a regional liaison that oversees that area. I oversee Region 3 and I am your main point of contact. Feel free to reach out me anytime you have questions, and I'm always available and happy to help. Our region is in blue, and I oversee your area. If you know of anyone else that would like to get involved, either as a sponsorship group or to coordinate a new location, feel free to pass my contact information along so that I can help them get started. Ultimately, our goal is to remember and honor every single veteran nationwide, regardless of where they are located, and we can't do it without you. Thank you for all you do and for working so hard to invite, inspire, unite our local community to remember, honor, and teach. Here's the contact information for our department as well as Wreaths Across America headquarters. If you need this information later on, just let me know and I'd be happy to email it for you for easy reference later. And that's all for today. Have a wonderful day and be sure to reach out to me directly if you have any questions or need help getting started. Again, thank you.